y'all, welcome to my channel. Raee is here with another video, and I think it's about time that I show you guys how I bleach my knots. So here we have this 18-inch frontal that I got from Amazon. Look at the laces. So as you guys can see, my wigs, frontals, whatever you see on my head is always laid, always melted. And the reason why it looks so melted is because I bleach my knots perfectly. And I wanted to hand that off to you guys so that we can all be slaying with the lace, okay? So the first step in bleaching your knots would be to spray the hair down with some Got2b spray. We will be using the yellow can, and basically you just go back and forth and spray the whole frontal down. The reason you do this is so that no bleach gets on any stray hairs or any hair at all. It just makes everything neater and easier, and you know we like to be neat, feel me? So after spraying, you're just going to take a comb. I like the fine tooth comb because it just gets it nice and flat, and you're just going to pull the hair back. And any hair that is not going the way that you need it to go, make sure you get that spray again and spray in that spot and then pull it back again. Now the lace is all done with being prepped, so I'm just going to put it aside. You can either let it air dry or you can use a blow dryer. I'm going to let it air dry because we have to prep the bleach. So for my bleach, you just need your cup, your mixing bowl, or whatever you use, Quick Blue Bleach, 40 volume developer, and I also use a knife for mixing and applying. That is the best tool you need. I've seen people use different things, but the knife has worked the best for me. Now, I don't have specific measurements or a specific recipe for this bleach, but just watch me and I'll show you guys how to determine the perfect consistency to bleach your knots. So first, you start off with measuring how much you think you may need. For a frontal, I usually use about 1.5 to 2 scoops. And then I'm going to pour in the developer, only about halfway of the bowl, and then just start mixing and see how much that does. And as you can see, as I'm mixing it up together, it's clumping and needs more liquid. So I do a little bit more, and let me zoom in here for you guys. And as I add that little bit, that went a long way. You don't want to add too much because then it's going to be too milky. The best way to tell that you have a good mix is the consistency of icing. Everyone has iced a cake once in their life, and that consistency is what you need. When you are using the utensil and you scoop up some of the dye, it should not come off of that utensil. It should not fall off at all. If it's too milky, if it's dripping, that means there's too much developer and you need to add more of the Quick Blue powder. See here how this is not dropping off the knife. It's staying in place. It's not running. That is what you need. Okay, girl? So we have our bleach done, and now it's time to get these knots later, okay? So first we're going to lay our frontal down onto a nice flat surface. If you have a wig, just turn it inside out. But basically the way this is going to go is just like cake. You're going to ice the cake and spread the butter knife across the frontal and just let the bleach go where it needs to. Please do not force the bleach onto the frontal. If you have to force it onto the frontal, then the consistency is wrong. It should be able to just glide across and stick to where it goes. Make sure you're not pushing the bleach into the frontal as it has holes, and the bleach will go through the holes and bleach anything that gets in its way. So take your time doing this. Don't rush. This is a fairly easy process. You just have to make sure and follow my directions, and you will have the best knots on your street, I'm telling you. This is what your frontal should look like on the back and the front once you're finished. It should not be thick layers. It should all be even. And look, I used mostly all of the bleach that I made. So that measurement that I gave you guys was correct. And you always want to make sure that you look under the frontal and make sure there's no black dots that have no bleach on it. As you can see, I saw a few. So I just went back, scraped the side of that, and just covered what needed to be covered, because you don't want any black dots on your frontal. It is not a good look. So this is about 30 minutes in. As you can see, the bleach is starting to work, and some of these are blonde, some are brown, some are black still. So we still have some ways to go for it to all be one color. These gorgeous pink strips, if you haven't seen any of my other dye videos, these are the Raee, my favorite. I put them on top just to make the process go a little faster. So we're 40 minutes in, and more of these knots are turning blonde, and I'm loving it, but I'm gonna leave it a little more until they're all done. Now we're done, baby. Look at it. It looks gorgeous. So it's time to pull off these foil and wash this off. So I'm just going to bring my frontal over to my sink and get that water running. I don't have a specific temperature to use, but basically once the water hits the back of that frontal, the bleach should just dissolve into the sink. It's okay if any bleach get onto the hair, as long as you don't leave it on, because that will be processing it. Just make sure you rinse everything out thoroughly. Rinse the front, rinse the back, rinse everything out, and you will be a-okay. Once all the product is washed out, you can feel free to shampoo and condition, but this is how the frontal looks without any conditioner. Look at it. The scalp is already showing, and all I'm doing is putting it up against my hand. This is why I told you this is the best way to bleach your knots, so that you don't have any of those squares showing, none of them dots. That is ghetto. I'm sorry. Look at this scalp. My thumbnail was not fooling y'all. I told you guys this is what I do. I love doing these tutorials for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope you guys take all these tips and tricks and make your frontals melt. Show me the slay. Comment below if any of these tips helped you, and give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. If you at this point in the video and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? I'm gonna end the video off here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you in the next video.